Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And today we are covering a book, but not any ordinary book, comic leaguers. It's one of the most gorgeous DC books of all time. And I use that, trust me, I don't say that often. This book is Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and drawn, inked, and colored by Alex freaking Ross. Now remember, here's who Alex Ross is. He's the DC artist. He pencils, inks, and colors everything himself. But see, he doesn't draw on anything other than paper. In other words, he's a physical man. And when he colors the books, he actually just paints them.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he's known for like his more realistic style, which is kind of reminiscent, I guess, of Christopher Reeve's Superman, because you have like the skin tight suit on Superman.
Right.
So, a little bit of background on this book. Actually, know it first. So, Lad and I were talking about the Batman movie that apparently won't come out anytime soon because it keeps getting delayed.
I think we're getting closer to it. I think we're getting closer.
Yeah, I'm looking up the release date right now. It's still like listed as March 4th.
Yeah, so I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm trying to see when is it delayed.
Yeah, here we go. Batman. It is coming out on
we feel good
March 4th.
Okay, so I guess it's not delayed, but all right. So, well, that's another thing to be really excited for. So now, and then I just want to update you guys on the latest Snyder news. Rumor has it that Warner Media is meeting with Snyder to discuss the SnyderVerse, just putting on HBO Max. They haven't started negotiations yet because legally they can't because of the merger, but it's a good reason. It's going to be a good time to be a DC fan again, ladies and gentlemen. And I said that when the Snyder Cut was coming out. Now, remember, anyone that tells you there's no way that the SnyderVerse is going to be restored, those are the same people that told you there's no way they were going to release the Snyder Cut. We all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
Once they released that movie, Lad, that's it. Anything's possible now.
Right. I mean, I really anything is possible. I mean, you can't say it's impossible. There's no way. I mean, Keaton's coming back. You know, you're having all these crazy things happening. You know, what's happening in Spider-Man. You know, like so many crazy things happening. There's nothing is impossible.
And reportedly, the Batgirl HBO Max series is gonna further canonize Batman versus Superman because it references the fact that Lex Luthor's in prison, and then it references the BVS scene where the Capitol blows up. So it's pretty obvious what they're covering there.
Yeah.
Now the question will be, which Justice League? Now, I know that they still say that 2017 is canon, but guarantee you that our good friends in Discovery are probably monitoring the Snyder Cut and are telling them, okay, we have to just switch this because no one likes 2017. Even the people that don't like Snyder do not like 2017.
Yeah.
So at this point, Discovery is probably going to be like, you know what, just canonize this, do whatever you need to do to make sure that this is canon. And then just give them the SnyderVerse and we'll do other stuff. Or they'll just do the multiverse and we'll be good that way. Because that's DC's thing. Marvel copied off of DC. That's DC's thing, is the multiverse.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to Kingdom Come. Unless you ever have anything to say about Warner Brothers or anything like that, Lad.
No. Let's see from the Batman how that goes. You know,
and the Flash.
Joker did, and the Flash, right? Joker did really well, even though it's not in the main continuity of movies. So let's see, maybe Batman will still be. I'm sure Batman will be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Flash movie release date just to verify that. But yeah, I'm sure the Batman movie is going to be okay. November 4th was when the Flash is going to come out. Yeah, I think that's the one that was delayed. I remember one DC movie was delayed, which would be interesting. I wonder if they're doing reshoots, because if they're doing reshoots, because remember, I think at this point they're doing like test screenings.
Yeah.
And it would be hilarious. Someone comes in. Why isn't Superman in a black suit?
Yeah.
Because the average audience isn't going to understand that this was like that movie's essentially non-canon until Warner says something. And then the higher ups are probably like, just redo your movie to make the Snyder Cut canon.
Yep.
I still maintain, okay, watch the movie theater. If when we go see The Flash and Barry returns to the main timeline, they establish that this is the main DC universe now, and then he turns around, he sees Superman in a black suit, watch. The theater will explode. And by explode, I mean explode with cheers. Yeah,
people will be so excited to see just see that character back,
and then Flash, when Flash arrives, Superman goes, not impressed. By lad, I don't know if you saw like a few of the episodes that you weren't on, but I've now turned that into a term. From now on, whenever Superman destroys someone in the comic books, we're going to call it he not impresses him.
Yeah, not impressed him.
That's it. That's what we're doing. And by the way, I just want to say before we start the book, the response to our top 10 is astounding.
Yes.
To the point that what we may do is make that also a Thursday show. What I mean is that if there's anything like newsworthy, we'll cover it. But most of the time, we're going to do a lot more top 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
They do well. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do that. All right. Kingdom Come. Now, a little bit of context on the storyline. So this is during a time when superheroes have gotten really dark. Obviously, they haven't improved. But the point is that back then, superheroes were getting kind of dark. And they were getting kind of edgy and such.
Yes.
And to quote like Mark Waid, they stopped becoming superheroes and started becoming people that fight other people. So this was a response to that storyline. And actually, it was supposed to be, it wasn't even supposed to be another world in the multiverse. This is Earth 22. It was actually just supposed to be the not so good future of the DC universe. But then they made another multiverse world. So anyway, in this book, all right, so I'm going to share my screen. I know we said we're not going to do that anymore, but it's Alex Ross art. You have to share Alex Ross art.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Kingdom Come. All right, here's his gorgeous covers.
So do you know what year this came out in? Like
this came out
90s or?
This came out. Hang on, let me check that. As a matter of fact,
yeah, just so we can get a frame of reference for when the era of comic books when this story came out.
DC Comics,
because this is a pretty monumental
96
storyline. That
oh really
1996.
So it's 25 years old. Someone else was born in 1996. Wearing a red shirt right about now.
Jared.
So another reason why this is one of my favorite books of all time.
Yes.
So yeah, this was in the 90s, and any comic book fan knows the 90s were a very interesting time for comic book fandom. Everyone had like tactical pouches, extreme hair, spikes.
Yeah.
Extreme was in the title of most books. So Kingdom Come. All right, so the book opens up, and by the way, here's your first indication of how awesome the freaking art is. So we have an eagle fighting a bat, which we can assume is Superman and Batman fighting, and then And then the story kind of fades into this because what they're showing is like a vision of the future. And it's showing like superheroes fighting, and it's like apocalyptic, apocalypse type stuff. So then we cut to this preacher who's giving like an old man a rest home last rites. The preacher is going to be very important in the storyline because he's like the main antagonist. His name is Norman McCorvey, I think is his name.
Oh, okay.
Or Norman McKay. One of those two. I know I should know this, but whatever. So anyway, and it's actually modeled after Alex Ross's father. So he leaves the hospital, and his patient keeps telling him he has all these like premonitions about the future. And you see like there's like a panel of Gotham, and it's like you can see superheroes flying everywhere down here.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to the dude's funeral, and then he looks at a newspaper and it says UN enacts more metahuman measures. In other words, humanity really fears the superheroes.
Yeah.
So then he's walking, and then he gets into this. So remember in Toy Story Pizza Planet?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. In that it's all Justice League style meals. In fact, in the background, you can see like a wall art of Batman comic. And
that's awesome.
It's pretty much this. All the waiters and waitresses are dressed up like Justice League characters.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be really even more hilarious later in the book. Trust me, there's this fantastic moment. So then he's walking down the street, and lad, what do you think this blur is?
Flash?
Yes. Okay, so here's what happened with Flash in this storyline. He went so fast at one point that his body can't stop vibrating.
Oh.
He's perpetually vibrating. That's the story. And now what we're seeing here. Okay, so here's the basic prequel story to Kingdom Come. So what happened was the Joker goes in, and tell me if this sounds familiar. The Joker goes into the Daily Planet and kills Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen and everyone in the Daily Planet. It's
That's horrible.
Kind of a pre-injustice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the Joker is brought on trial, and then this superhero / villain / anti-hero named Magog, I kid you not, that's his name, kills the Joker.
Oh.
So he just kills
everything
him.
Good.
And then guess what? Yes, exactly. The public opinion sides with him.
The Joker?
Magog. No, with Magog. Because their whole thing was Superman. Why didn't you guys ever kill the Joker? He's killed millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, quick tangent. That's the problem with injustice. You can argue that Superman's right or Batman's right, but ultimately, those two made it a black and white argument, and there's no black and white. Obviously, you can't kill everyone, but the Joker, who nuked a city. Back to the storyline. So,
my sister actually joked about this specific thing that, like, it's like whenever once Joker kills so many people, and Batman says the only thing that Batman does is say, "You better not let it happen again." And that's all he does. And then that's all he does. And then Joker just leaves.
That's great. That's great. You gotta get on the show, lad.
Yeah.
Anyway. So in the wake of, so what happens is, so the public sides with Magog, and Superman legit says, "I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I'm done. I can't. If you're not going to listen to reason, I'm not going to do this anymore." So he leaves. The entire Justice League retires.
Really?
Then, yes. All of these younger superheroes show up, and the younger, the more brash. And then all the supervillains retire because they're scared of these superheroes that all of a sudden will kill. And then it just turns into superheroes that fight just because they're bored.
Oh, I see.
It'll be a random superhero fight. It's no reason for it. They're not saving anyone. In fact, a lot of people get killed in the crossfire.
Oh, man.
to the point where the world is living in fear of metahumans now. Hence that article that says the UN to enact more metahuman measures. So we move on. Again, we see more battle. Very intense battle. And you can see it's causing widespread destruction here.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, okay, so where are they? So McKay is preaching, and then he's talking about this. He didn't tell his parishioners about. He starts having these visions of the future, of the world getting nuked. That'll be important later. And then he's visited by the Spectre. Now the Spectre is
it's Green Arrow.
Actually, no. By the way, fun fact for the Snyder Cut. You remember that cop that was talking to Gordon before he went on the roof?
Yeah.
His name is Crispin Allen or something like that, or Crispin Allen. Guess what? He's the Spectre.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I don't think he's the Spectre in the Snyderverse, but I'm saying that character becomes the Spectre.
Yeah.
That is how deep this guy goes when he makes movies. I'm like, wait a second, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
So the Spectre says, listen, oh, by the way, McKay, I got the name now. I got the name.
McKay.
So, even as I stand before you, okay, so the Spectre says, even as I stand before you, an act of unspeakable evil has begun to manifest. Armageddon is fast approaching. Now, note, a little thing about the Spectre. He is the personification of, I believe, God's vengeance. Like,
okay.
God is a real being in DC Comics, like he is in real life. I have to put that addendum on there. but in here, his avatars, if you will. I'm not sure if avatar is the right word. The point is, he sends people down, emissaries, if you will.
Okay. And so this guy is supposed to be like, has immense power, and he's destructive force.
To say he has immense power is an understatement, dude.
Does he have a good side to him?
He's goodish. I'll put it that way. By the way,
okay.
In DC Universe Online, there was a scene. There's a scene where, like, I'm fighting the Spectre. Every time I beat him, ironically, I'm teamed up with Green Arrow and Green Lantern, and then he goes into Lantern and goes into Arrow. And then he goes into me, and I get to control the Spectre.
Oh, nice.
And it is every bit as fun as it sounds. Because I'm invincible.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Spectre has kind of taken Norman on a journey. Kind of like A Christmas Carol, I think, is the movie where the spirits take Scrooge through like Ghost of Christmas Past. So then we come to this farm. And we see this jack dude that can fly that's rebuilding a barn. Wearing overalls. Yes, that's right. Superman. Now remember, Superman basically said, I'm done with humanity. So he's just hanging out on the Kent farm. So, and what's interesting, I love how McCrae goes, he looks so familiar. We should, though he is not of this world. He came to Earth. And you see what's kind of funny. Look at the top panel. He's lifting a green tractor.
That's nice. That's nice.
Very reminiscent. So anyway.
Very reminiscent.
And then McCrae makes this statement. He goes, I don't know. It's so heartbreaking to see him so alone. And then Spectre goes, well, he's not alone. Wonder Woman shows up. And by the way, this book is a SuperWonder book.
Yeah.
This was one of the this is one of the worlds where they are together and will have a child in the sequel.
Sweet.
Yeah. So now Wonder Woman is coming to Superman saying, listen, dude, you need to get back in the world. It is going to hell right now.
How did he get so old?
It's here. Well, here's the thing about Superman. He ages like ridiculously slow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even though he looks old, I just have to move my screen here so I can actually look at you and look at the camera. But anyway, so he may look old, but he's not that. Let me put it this way. he has the gray beard. I'll give you that, and a ponytail. Interesting, super ponytail. But
yeah,
he is still pretty young. Oh, by the way, speaking of Wonder Woman, this will debut a certain feature of Wonder Woman that has become a staple in DC, and we have seen in the movies.
Oh,
I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. So anyway, she tells him, "Hey, listen, you're not even among the people anymore." And he goes, "Yeah, I am." And then look what happens. Turns out Superman was not in the farm. He was in the Fortress of Solitude. This is all a holographic projection.
Oh.
So it turns out he just stayed he didn't even go to the Kent farm. He just stayed in the Fortress of Solitude. What this is showing is that a concept that was kind of played around with in Superman lore is that without his parents and Lois, he loses his connection to humanity.
I see.
So that's what this is showing. So then he basically tells Wonder Woman to leave. She does. Then he goes into his like little spy room, and he's seeing all of these like reports of like super villains and superheroes fighting in like all these different languages. And then he finally goes, "Okay, I have to stop these guys. I actually have to get involved now." But it got to the point where a lot of people died because during the fight that's being shown on screen here. So this dude, this gold and red dude, he's basically like Captain Atom. What I mean by that is that if you breach his suit, boom. Okay. And guess what happened? They breached his suit.
That's
in the middle of a populated area. Boom. So that's what happened. And then it's irradiated and all that. So Superman is still not feeling it because I think he's basically at this point thinking they brought this on themselves.
Right.
So then, McCrae means like, what about the rest of them? There's no way they would like abandon humanity. And then Spectre goes, well, yeah, others, some did turn their backs on humanity, but others didn't. They just helped in more covert ways. Like here's the Flash. Ironically, by the way, this is not Barry Allen. It's Jay Garrick.
Oh.
A lot of Justice Society characters stand in for Justice League characters in this book. I don't know why it's not Barry Allen, or actually, I don't know why it's not Wally West, because Wally West was a thing back then in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take it. And it looks so cool, like with all the streaks. And then here's Hawkman. Now, I've read this book so many times, I still don't know if that's his actual face or if that's a helmet.
Yeah.
I choose to believe it's his face because it sounds cooler. And then Hal Jordan, I believe this is Hal Jordan. Green Lantern commands alone. I'm going to say actually this either Hal Jordan or Alan Scott. The point is Green Lantern used his ring to create a construct that's a space station. And he basically protects the world from like space threats. They give him like Sword in Marvel.
Yeah.
So anyway, then we have like the Legion of Superheroes. We have Aquaman. He's protecting the Seven Seas. And then we have Gotham City. We're talking about Batman. So these criminals are on the run from Batbots. So it turns out what Batman did is he created Bat Robots Sentries because he got injured and he couldn't be Batman anymore. So he created these robots to basically be Batman and be able to police Gotham.
Oh,
and
nice.
Turned it kind of into a dystopian state.
Oh.
So anyway, so then we have another battle. And this another battle, and guess what happens? So again, a thing I want to emphasize is that there is no like protecting the people. It's all just let's beat each other up. They hit a cable car, the supervillains, and then it's going to fall over. And all of a sudden, the Blur shows up. And then all of a sudden, look up in the sky.
Oh, he's back.
It's our boy. It's Soup.
And yes, he's back.
in the
So he decided to
gorgeous,
save people.
in the amazingly badass Kingdom Come suit. Kingdom Come suit is my third favorite Superman costume. Number one is the Zack Snyder Justice League black suit because it just looks so cool. Number two is new 52 Kryptonian armor. Third is this.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool. And that was one of my favorite parts of Crisis on Infinite Earths when it was, first off, Brandon Routh, who he was a good Superman. I just hated his suit. That's it. The really ridiculously small S.
Yeah.
That's it. But I loved him in this. And they actually had the gray on his temples and everything. I was like, oh, thank you.
It was really good look. It was really good look.
And then we got, who is probably my, I'd say my third favorite Superman actor, Tyler Hoechlin, or however you pronounce his name. The one who's in Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
By the way, rankings. It's Henry Cavill, Reeves, and Tyler. And third is Dean Cain. And Lad, favorite Superman actors before we go on. Go.
Oh, well, I know Cavill. Cavill's my favorite, I guess, because I've only really watched his movies.
We should watch like all of the old Superman movies and then react to them on the podcast.
Christopher Reeves.
We can see Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, where he throws nukes into the sun.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're more scientifically versed than I am. Is that a good idea?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. What if I think it would blow up and it'd be fine. I mean, the sun is exploding more than the atomic bomb, so it should be fine.
But here's the thing. When I think about it, that was the most comic book thing he could have done.
Right, yeah. Like, imagine like if you accidentally blew up the sun. Like, good job, Superman.
But the source of my power is gone.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I will give you this. Those movies were ridiculous, but they're the most Let me put it this way. There's a comic book in Silver Age Superman where he's dragging a solar system on a chain.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? At this point, that's why I love those Superman movies because they mainstreamed Superman, and it's one of those. First off, that was one of the movies I grew up on, with the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, because I got really into superheroes after Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
which is why it was so cool to see our good boy Toby in the suit again with the music.
Yep.
I even loved where he sees. I know I'm going on a lot of tangents, but just bear with me. I want to talk about this. It's like where he meets Doc Ock again, and then Doc Ock is like, "It's good to see you, dear boy." Like they're buddies again.
Yep.
Because the last time they saw each other, they were enemies.
It's great.
The power of the sun in the palm of. He says that so many times. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I know. That's the best.
The best reference, I think, and the one where I was so happy they put it in was when Norman goes, I could help you out. I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yes. That was awesome.
Because
fantastic.
One of my political science teachers sent me a meme once of Norman going, a political science students. I'm something of a scientist myself.
Exactly. You're a scientist, Jared.
Kind of. It's just I'm studying a different thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Something of a scientist.
Here's what I thought. Here's an innovative idea that I should see if I could find. I wonder if there's like a cyber comic book. What I mean by that is like Watchdog style comic book. With, like hackers and all that. But have I ever shown you Watchdogs?
I've heard of it, but I've never actually played it myself. I know of it.
We will do that the next time we come over. So anyway, back to Kingdom Come. So Superman is back in all of his glory, and he basically says, all right, you know what? You have tried my patience right now. So,
wait, what?
He's not turning evil. He basically goes to the bad superheroes, to the guys that are causing so much damage, going, you're going to break the world, stop it, or we're going to stop it for you. And you may be wondering, he basically tells heroes, I'm using air quotes here, in other words, the ones that are fighting with abandon, he basically tells them, listen, guys, if you guys don't like stop endangering people, you're going to have to deal with us. And then you may wonder, what's us? And then who's to show up? The Justice League is back, baby. Oh, you know what's interesting? Power Girl.
Yeah. That's not Supergirl?
No, because you know why? Justice Society. At this point, she was on the Justice Society, but actually, she's the Supergirl of Earth 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because in the mainline DC universe, that's what happened, is that when her world was destroyed, she was stuck on our Earth, and it was Power Girl.
I see.
I'm still waiting for her to show up in the CW. And then we see Robin, who is it's Tim Drake, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What do you think of Robin's costume, lad? I'm not sure how you feel about it.
It looks cool, except for the head looks kind of funny. It looks like
the cowl looks kind of off, right?
Yeah, it looks like Hawkman or something like that. It doesn't look fantastic.
I get he's doing like an actual Robin, but it just looks weird.
Yeah,
but I do like the cross straps that have the bird on it. I like that a lot.
That is nice.
So we see the League like doing what they do best and not impressing these fools and saving people.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And then he goes, okay. And the Superman makes a press conference and goes, listen, we're back and we're going to make sure you guys don't have to live in fear anymore. And for the supervillains out there, either join the Justice League or we're going to put you in prison because you obviously can't be trusted just being out here.
Right. So he's basically saying like we're going to have more accountability for the superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because people are dying and that shouldn't happen. Now, we understand that there would be like collateral damage. It's going to happen. Lord knows it's happened plenty of times with the Justice League. But he's like, now you're not even caring. You're not even saving people. You're just fighting for fighting's sake.
Yeah, this is like chaotic and destructive.
You're like, all right, you know what? We're gonna take care of this ourselves. And then of course the UN is threatened because of it's the UN. And then we see like McCrae is seeing a Superman fly to Gotham. He flies into the Batcave, and then we see Batman. So what happened is that Batman's back was broken, and then he put in this harness, hence which is Kevin Conroy's Batman in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, I see.
That's why it's freaking Kingdom Come, bro.
I see.
Yeah. By the way, here's how much of a SnyderVerse fan I am. Whenever I see Batman and I read a comic with him in it, it's Ben Affleck's voice. Actually, you know what? If it's an older Batman, I do Conroy.
Oh, that's a pretty good. Yeah, that's a whole topic we'll have to do for an episode. Like, how do you read comics? Like, what voice do you project onto the people?
Mostly for me, it's the characters from the movies.
Really, when I read the classic Spider-Man comics, like the originals, I have Speed Racer's voice in my head. If you ever watch the Speed Racer anime, just like the American dub, it's like, watch out, Trixie, and it's just like that voice, that classic, old-timey like voice, that campy voice. I just have it. That's how I hear Peter in my head.
Old Spider-Man voice, and that's how they wrote. So I can see it. For a second there, I thought you were gonna say Andrew Garfield because I know how much you like him.
No, I hear Speed Racer's voice.
But be honest, whenever you read Iron Man in anything, Robert Downey Jr.
Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist,
Yeah, I love that. Put on the suit. Let's go a few rounds.
Yep.
So Superman is like, okay, listen, Bruce, this is not okay with your robots.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're basically having a philosophical argument where it's like, listen, dude, Clark, it's really good to see you. I'm glad you're back and about. But here's the thing. You're scaring a lot of people. And you're just going to lock people up because they don't conform. They don't join. So it's basically join the Justice League or jail.
Yeah.
And Batman is the voice of reason. He's like, listen, dude, your heart's in the right place. This is an injustice. Your heart's in the right place. but you're going a little too far here.
With the Batbots?
The Batbot. Well, no. Batman is telling Superman, you're going too far with this, locking people up in a prison if they don't conform.
Really? That's pretty rich of Batman to say with all his Batbots right? Policing the city.
I know. And then we see some people here. Well, let's see. There's Oliver Queen.
No.
Dinah Lance. In other words, Black Canary. I forgot who that guy is.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to see the actual Oliver Queen. Oh, it's Ted Kord. It's Blue Beetle.
Oh, okay. The pictures are so interesting to look at. Like you said, it's paintings. It's
Aren't
like
they gorgeous?
The coloring, and it's just like the whites. Like the whites really stand out to me. How it has that little bit of white wash to it that makes it feel so dramatic with the shadows.
Every time I read this book, let me put it this way. Every time I read this book, it takes me a long time to get through this because I'm just admiring the art.
Yeah.
It's just, and this is all drawn on actual board and everything. It's not drawn on an iPad or anything.
Yeah.
He colors it. I mean, he draws it on pencil, inks it, and then he just paints. He does not do anything but paints.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, can't you do more work?
Yeah.
That's what the only reason to buy the Ta-Nehisi Coates Captain America runs, because it's all Alex Ross covers.
That's
what the only value that book provides. So anyway, we see Wonder Woman, and then some stuff is happening with Wonder Woman that I'm going to tell you later. So anyway, the League starts to like reform. More heroes are coming back. Like we've got Starfire. I think that's Starfire. Like the point is, more of the superheroes are coming out of retirement because of Superman. And that's kind of like what's happened with Superman, because it's like DC kind of established in the universe that superheroes only felt more free to show up when Superman like became a public figure.
I see.
And you can kind of argue, because one of the criticisms for the Snyder Cut is, wait a second, Martian Manhunter's been here for so long. Why didn't he show up until the Justice League? But you could argue because he saw how Superman was treated and thought they weren't ready to see a Martian.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's an interesting point I thought about. What do you think, lad?
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good distinction to bring up, you know?
In which I think that's why some people can say Batman is the leader of the Justice League. I think it's more Superman, because of how they all take their cues from him. Even Batman takes his cues. And that's why that scene in Justice League, and I mean the cartoon, the fabulous cartoon, where Superman dies, but he's actually sent into the far future and everyone thinks he's dead. Batman goes to his like statue and goes, listen, bro, I know you're not dead, but in the off chance you're not, thank you. You showed me that you don't have to be in the darkness to be a superhero. So I'm like, you see, everyone takes their ideas from Clark because he is the moral compass of the Justice League. That's why most of the Justice League turned evil and injustice, because they were like, if it's Superman.
Yeah.
They were blinded by their admiration for this god.
You're right.
So anyway, the League goes out, and then people are wearing their shirts anymore. People are going out. People are happy because the League is back. And we see more battles, and then so Wonder Woman is getting a little brutal.
Well, yeah,
almost kills someone, and then Superman is like, dude. And here's the important thing about Superman: despite the fact that these guys are causing wanton destruction, despite the fact that he's probably very angry, he says, "We never kill. They're not evil. This isn't fighting Cheetah. They're just misguided." So do not kill them. They don't. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Is essentially what is essentially the line from this.
So they're just arresting the people that are causing all this trouble, and they're gonna lock them up because
anyone that won't join the League.
I see.
At least I'm pretty sure that's the deal. You have to join the Justice League because the Justice League is going to provide oversight. So anyway, then we get Lex Luthor, who's choking out his secretary because she made his coffee wrong, and he's meeting with all of these super villains. One of them is Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul. I'm trying to Nigma. So it's the the Riddler's here. This is obviously Catwoman.
Yeah.
And then we have I don't know who this is. I'm pretty sure that this is Ra's al Ghul.
That beard.
Yeah. Given signed out this account is signed on another device. I don't know what this is. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I got a Zoom request. Anyway, hang on for 1 sec while I re-enter my code. It's still recording, so we're good. So anyway, in the meantime, while I do that, all right. So Lad, why don't you explain to the fans why while I do this, why we're sort of focusing a lot of the shows toward more top 10 episodes.
Oh, right. So as people may have noticed, Jared put out a top 10 video recently and it did pretty well. And we want to try to do a few more of those top 10 videos. From my years on YouTube, just watching people, I've really enjoyed watching top 10, just hearing someone's opinion on some of the best superheroes with, some educated reasoning also, superheroes, characters, powers, just anything top 10. Those get a lot of attention. A lot of big channels do that, like Emergency Awesome and others. And we kind of want to emulate what other channels are doing and tap into.
Okay, apologies, guys. I know that this is A, going to be late, and B, kind of choppy, but that's just because right where the episode leaves off, or that first part of the episode leaves off, my internet went out and my computer just stopped working on me, so we lost the rest of half the episode. But fear not, for I shall be continuing on with the Under Two Capes show. I'm gonna complete our Kingdom Come episode. So let me just share my screen and then we can get to work on that. I have to be quiet because there are people in the house and I don't want to wake them. So anyway, so as we were saying, so there's the meeting of the Legion of Doom. You have like Lex Luthor, Enigma, Catwoman, and such, and they're meeting to deal with the Justice League. And we see this little guy right here. And he's going to be very important later in the story. Chief among the reasons because he's a certain DC superhero that actually has powers. And he has a movie. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So as we go on, we see the superhuman bar where like the superhumans go to like be able to like be free from the superhero control. Superman shows up and goes, "Listen, guys, here's what's going to work." So he basically says, "Look, I want you to join the Justice League willingly. Before you do, you should know that there are rules. We have to act in a certain way. The way you're acting is not that way we're supposed to act. Now, here's the thing. If you don't come with us, we're going to put you in a prison." So again, what I like about this book is that it basically is a more reasonable version of injustice, and that Superman does not turn into a dictator. In this one, he kind of, would I call him a dictator? Maybe a little bit, because he's putting people in prison that don't agree with him, but it's like, okay. So a bunch of the super villains come and help out. Obviously, super humans agree. So then the Justice League sets up the new watchtower in Hal Jordan's, I think it's Hal Jordan's, but point is GL's fortress. It's called Oa. And as you can see, he's got a little planning table. It's got like the Green Lantern logo. And then we get some montage scenes of the League taking care of all these supervillains. And then so Superman is like, "What do we do with these who refuse to see the light?" Then Wonder Woman goes, "I have a suggestion, follow me." They go to Aquaman and it's like they want him to be able to use they want Aquaman to allow him to use his kingdom as a prison. Aquaman says no. Then we find out that Wonder Woman has lost her station as a princess. Why could this be? Well, it's because so in light of the world turning into like a really dark place, she was stripped of her role because remember, one of Wonder Woman's missions was she was supposed to lead man's world toward peace and prosperity. Obviously, this isn't happening. So then Superman and Wonder Woman share a nice moment. They almost kiss, and then Donna Troy walks in, and Superman's probably like, "Come on, Donna." Then they find Magog. Now, what's important here is that, as you can see, he's trying to rebuild where that nuke guy went off, and then he's frustrated, and then Superman shows up and goes, "What are you doing here?" Then actually, so after a verbal battle, Magog goes, "This is actually all your fault." He goes, "Think back. You're the one who let himself get strung up by the man street. Vox populate, the people's voice. Man, out with the old, in with the new, brighter, faster, meaner, next year's model. That's what the hungry crowd always wants." Had to have been eating at you for a while before I even came into town. Hell, they were calling you old fashioned when I was a teenager, world's oldest Boy Scout. But you wouldn't change. You wouldn't get in. You wouldn't get in step. You wouldn't flex with the times. Remember the Daily Planet asked, or remember the Daily Planet asked if that's why the Joker got so many notches under his belt, but when he blew into our town, how many did he take out just that last time? 92 men, and then he adds, and one woman, which is Lois Lane. Remember, Hal, we both tore up the city looking for that bastard. I really thought you or Batman would get to him first. Even I almost missed him, almost. And then what happens is that Magog killed him, and so what happens is, okay, so almost I will never forget the look on your face when you saw me standing over that smoking creep all the way to jail. I thought, what a sap, what an old woman. Blue Boy's dragging me in for having the stones he doesn't. Times are tough. Joker had been deserving worse than cuffs for years. So I took it upon myself to lay him down. I can't be judged for that. I was a hero. And then what you see here is that in a jury of his peers, Magog was found not guilty, so he was let off for killing the Joker because they're like, Superman, why didn't you kill the Joker? It's the way that the public sees it is that Superman's partly responsible for all the carnage that the Joker has inflicted because of the fact that he refuses to take action against the Joker. Like he pretty much says, okay, I'm not going to kill this guy, even though he clearly deserves it. And as we see here, 77% of the Daily Plan's readership are on the side of Magog. And this is why Superman just up and left. And then so they have a fight, but then Magog, we kind of have a fight, and then Magog just says, "Okay, you know what? This is my fault too, because I created this situation in which these people were nuked. So you know what? Just take me to prison." When Superman says we're at war, he goes to Apocalypse and said, "Okay, I need you to help me build a prison." That's generally the idea here. We also find out that Orion, the son of Darkseid, which we met on the show in the Darkseid War episode, because so for those of you that don't know, to avoid war, Darkseid and Allfather, otherwise Apocalypse and New Genesis, swap sons. Orion went to New Genesis and became the Orion that we know from the Justice League cartoon, and Mr. Miracle, the son Scott Free, became Mr. Miracle, an escape artist. So anyway, so here's the prison. He deploys it. And then the UN actually not the UN, the supervillains show up, and no, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble speaking today. But Batman and the Bat League show up at the meeting of the supervillains, and they start saying, okay, so we need to work together because this is getting way out of hand. That's the end of issue 2. Going to issue 3. Again, I'm sorry about the technical issues, but I was going to divide this episode into 2 parts, but you know what? I figured you guys deserve a nice long episode on such a book as Kingdom Come, particularly when I also didn't want because this week is episode 100. By the way, thank you for listening. I just wanted to make sure that episode 100 got its own little thing. It wasn't like picking up the slack for any previous episode. So anyway, back to moving on. We see an image of Shazamming, and then the Spectre is like, "Oh my gosh, the end is coming." Now, this is what Lad and I also noted when we were trying to record this. The prison looks a lot like the Legion of Doom from Super Friends, the Darth Vader thing. It's really interesting when you think about it. So we get more montages. There's more battles. And then they're putting them in the prison. And then it's kind of like a prison where they can like move around and stuff, but they have to like learn how to be proper superheroes, and Superman like preaches to them. And then there's this, there's actually a fight breaking out in the prison. Then we see they're actually considering like how interesting is that you insist upon this? So you are concerned with how I'm concerned. So they're like all these beings that are like, okay, we have to do something because this is getting like out of hand. We see Deadman. He's talking to Norm. Superman and Wonder Woman are talking about her losing her station, and like if they should kill the bad guys or they should like try to reform them. And Superman, Wonder Woman share this nice romantic moment. He gets to lasso a couple of rocks, and to show that he's serious because it's the lasso of truth. And then we see Billy Batson getting shot, but it turns out Lex Luthor like saved him. And I would say that's who the kid is. It's Billy Batson. We see like a bat spy right there. I love this. I never noticed this until actually right now. There's like a little bat spy. And then Batman, Batman kind of knows that Lex Luthor is working against him. And apparently Lex Luthor is like bankrolling the whole development of the Batbots, the Bat Sentries. So then these superheroes and supervillains meet up and make a plan. And then we see Shazam walk in. So then we see like the Justice League are also talking, and then McCray is actually brought in, and he's like, listen, you got to stop. You are moving toward a really bad situation. And then he's interrupted by Robin, who goes, there's a war going on in the prison, so you guys have to get down there. So Wonder Woman goes, okay, get down there and like resolve the situation. And then Superman goes, oh yeah, through peaceful means, right? And Wonder Woman goes, by whatever means are necessary. So they fall out. Superman and Wonder Woman have another fight about if they should kill him. Superman goes in from the UN and goes, listen, we're working on this prison. It's our system. Stay out of it, basically. And then Shazam, and then at the meeting between the supervillains and the Bat League, they turn on each other, obviously, and then there's a battle, and then all of a sudden, so Batman chases Lex Luthor and Billy Batson into the Bat plant, I guess, and then Shazam goes, Shazam, and then turns into the superhero and flies off. So now we get the debut of Wonder Woman's golden armor. This is where they first showed up, from like Wonder Woman 84 and such. Like how she's also draped in the American flag. I really like that detail. So then this is actually like the full war armor. And then Wonder Woman and Superman make out before she falls out. Yeah, exactly. Superman goes to Batman and goes, listen, dude, I need your help. And then Bruce goes, okay, you know what? It's your problem right now. So then Wonder Woman's like, okay, guys, stop the prison riot.
or we will actually, or we'll kill you pretty much. And I like how, so this is a Batman Begins reference. Well, Batman Begins references this point. So Batman's talking to Superman and he goes, what do you expect me to do against? And then Batman turns around, Superman's gone. And he goes, so that's what that feels like. I love that scene. Superman just hauls it right toward the prison. At the same time, Shazam shows up and breaks in. And then he attacks Superman. And then we get to issue 4, the last in the series. Thank you for sticking with us for this long. Again, I know because of all the technical issues, but we're glad that you're here with us. Right, this is Earth 22. I just want to reiterate that. So then we see a battle going on, and then we have this absolutely gorgeous image that it's one of Alex Ross's most fantastic pieces, and I will die in a hill to say that this is one of the greatest Alex Ross paintings ever. You got like all the dynamic action. You have Superman and Wonder Woman fighting back to back. Superman's fighting Shazam, which kind of not going to work out so well because Shazam is magic. And then we see like, and then the Spectre's like, okay, the judgment's coming. It's not going to turn out so well. The UN decides to launch a nuke because it's like, well, listen, this war is going to take out the Earth. So let's just take out all the superheroes. They launch up, and then we see like a panel by panel breakdown of all these battles going on. McCrae is like, I gotta warn these people, and then Batman shows up in the dope Kingdom Come Nightfall suit, and he actually has a jetpack that I have called the Batpack. So we have like Batman, we have the Batbots, we have Creeper, we have, I think that's Jade, Green Lantern's daughter. So that must be Alan Scott. That's the Green Lantern in space. We have Catman, Black Canary, Oliver Queen. So it's really cool. That's what Oliver Queen does. So anyway, but apparently Batman's fireproof. So the combined might of the superheroes managed to somewhat regain order. Actually, not really regain order because this dude's about to kill this. I don't know who that is. Oh yeah, the dude in the robot suit. And then so Wonder Woman kills him. And Diana and Wonder Woman have a fight, and a fight into the sky where they see the nuke and they go, okay, we got to put aside our fight to deal with this. Then Shazam Superman a bunch of times because remember, it's what's the word? Magic. So Wonder Woman and Batman try and take care of the nuke plane so they can save everyone. Obviously, here's the Batpack right here. And then McCrae realizes that this is it. This is the moment. And then so what Superman says is, listen, you can overcome this mind control. You just have to basically think hard. You can overcome this. And by Superman's heat vision bounces off the bomb. And then your soul is what guides me. How can I? So, and then what's kind of interesting is Norman tells the Spectre, you have to interfere, do something. But the Spectre's like, I can't interfere. So he's kind of like the Watcher in that sense. So we see this massive battle, and the Superman goes, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Here's why you're a better superhero than I am, Billy. Because you know what? My whole life, I've dealt with the distinction between Superman and Clark Kent. You've never had that. You can do this, Billy. And then Billy does that. He Shazams as Superman is going to go take out the nuke and sacrifice himself. But then Shazam just throws him away because he figures they're going to need you more than they need me. And then he Shazams the nuke and it goes off. And then here's the judgment time. And then we see like a lot of the superheroes are dead. There's like dead Blue Beetle. There's like dead Giant Man. There's like lots of dead superheroes. Superman flies off. And the Spectre's like, okay, see you, Norman. And then Norman's like, what? He's like, you can't just watch these people die. And Superman shows up at the UN because he knows who launched the nuke and he's about to kill them. So he's about to go full injustice. But then Clark's like, listen, you blame yourself for Captain Marvel from Agog in Kansas. And for 10 years, that ended today. Yes, you're angry, but in that anger, you're forgetting once more what humans feel. They feel fear. They won't forgive you for this, Clark. You need to forgive yourself, because Clark kind of blamed himself for Lois because he's supposed to be able to protect her. So Superman relents, and when we see more of the superheroes survived, I'm guessing because Green Lantern deployed like his ring and protected everyone. So then Superman basically goes, "We're sorry. We're just gonna. We can't. We can't be fighting. We have to work together at this point. We have to. We're not gonna rule above you, but we're gonna live amongst you. In other words, we're gonna basically not be gods, but we're gonna be one of you. We're gonna try and serve you." So then, in honor of Captain Marvel, Superman hangs his flag at that little rotunda thing outside the UN where they have all the world flags as like a tribute. So then we cut to the near future. The Bat robots are now medics, and I like how Batman screws with Lex Luthor because Batman's like Shazam, and Lex Luthor's like shut up. It's interesting how Lex Luthor now works for Batman. Then we see Wonder Woman is given back her role because she did contribute to peace. Then we have like Alan Scott is inducted into the UN Security Council. It's called the OA. And then we get back to Superman, and he's building like a grave site for all of the superheroes who died at the incident, at the nuking incident. And then Wonder Woman brings him a present, and he goes, "What is this?" She goes, "A gift, a little something to help you see more clearly." And it's his Clark Kent glasses. And they kiss, and she falls out. And then he continues to till the land. And then Norma is returned to his congregation, and then he gives this whole lesson about fear and pretty much he basically uses the story of Kingdom Come as a lesson. 1 year later, Superman and Wonder Woman show up at I think it's called, what's the place called again? Planet Krypton. And I love how the Superman waiter says, "Greetings, citizens, smoking or non-smoking?" And then Wonder Woman's like, "Be nice, Clark." They sit down, and it turns out they're meeting with Batman. They have their usual back and forth. And then Batman is like, "So I take it you're not here to just talk shop," because that's what they do. They talk shop a little bit. And then it turns out that Wonder Woman's like, "We have something to announce." And the Batman goes, "Oh yeah, you're pregnant." Exactly what happened in Justice, where like Superman shows up, "I have news about Lois." And then Batman goes, "You're pregnant." That's pretty much it. And he's like, "Okay, so first off, for an ageless Amazon of perfect physique, you put on a pound or two." That was my first clue. There were others, and it's like the sheen in her hair. So then Wonder Woman surprises Superman and goes, "I want you to be the child's godfather." And the Superman's like, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "Listen, there are things that Batman can teach our child that Clark and I can't. In other words, how to be a man and all that." Then this is basically showing them burying the hatchet, and Batman's like, "I would be honored." So he does that. I just want to go back here for a second because they have like the Batcopter. I'm trying to find all of the different references here in Planet Krypton, because you have the Kryptonite. We have the 1966 Batgirl at the cash register. I love that. That's why I love this scene so much, because he packs in all these little references. And then they leave. And then, by the way, I think he's here. He might be here. One of the writer for the story was actually painted into the background. Yeah, right here. This is Mark Waid right here. So anyway, they fall out, and then the story ends. But what's interesting is that we have the Spectres going, "That's the Spectre platter." He's seeing this. He's like, "Look at it this way. It's flattering to be remembered somehow." And that's the end of Kingdom Come. One of the greatest DC stories I think I have ever read. gorgeous artwork by Alex Ross. I know Lad enjoyed the book a lot. He said it's one of his favorite stories. I say this from what we recorded yesterday, and hope you guys enjoyed it too. Hope you guys are excited for episode 100. We have lots of stuff planned for that episode. It's gonna be really fun. We're gonna be reflecting, talking about our favorite episodes, and then planning out and just hanging out for an hour or so. Thank you guys seriously for listening, because it's like episode 100. It's a big thing. Really fortunate to have a loyal fan base of listeners. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys will forgive the technical difficulties we had. One more thing, just hope you guys enjoy our week's worth of episodes. We have some really great stuff in the pipeline. Just want to say that. All right, stay heroic, everyone.